Welcome in. It's Views from the Stands on a Wednesday night, and we are so truly happy that you're checking us out and hanging out with us. I'm your host, Stevie B, Steve Brennan, and we have Mr. G Mike, the GM, in the building, and we have a fun-filled packed show for you today, man. The Colts make a major move at the starting QB position. We'll be definitely talking about that one. Arch Manning, is he staying or leaving after Texas, man? A lot of stuff's been coming out about that. We're going to talk about that. We continue our weekly NFL division breakdown. This time we got two divisions of the mighty NFC North and the AFC North as well. We have an awesome Dowbad Debate. It's going to be a little fantasy football style for you. But before we get into all that, Mr. G Mike, welcome in. It's good to see you, buddy, and let the good people know what you got going on.
Yes, sir. Good to be here, man. You already know Wednesday night, putting in this work. Just like with these slips, baby, just with these sports gambling slips. I run a Telegram channel where we offer sports gambling slips, from daily slips to give to you. You pay $10 a month, and we could get you winnings from $10 to $50 to $100 a day. And we have an affiliate program, which is another way that you can make money on the side with it. If you're watching the live episode, you'll see the link pop up in the chat right now. Or if you're watching the recorded episode, you'll see a pop-up on your screen, as well as my social media accounts where you can send me a DM, start a conversation on how to get you on and pop.
Hell yeah, man. A little bit extra money in the pockets always goes a long way, man, especially with football season coming around the corner. I know the Jazz General is going to be having some shit going on, man. I'm excited for that one, man. Yes, man, we always give a shout out to Varsity Sports, man. Varsity Sports has been our ride or die with us for a while here. If you want live high school sports, they got you. You want live college sports, they got you. You want to get content like you're watching right now and listening to, man, they got you as well. The best part is it's a convenient app that you can download on your iOS, your Android, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, anywhere you get your social medias. And you can also watch our show on demand, which we really appreciate. We've been getting a lot of views on demand from Varsity, so we really appreciate that. Continue watching with us, and we're going to keep on grinding with this. You can also check out a lot of other sports content that's on the app. It's a great app, and it's free, so you can't go wrong with that one. And we also got Millions, man. Millions has been riding with us for a while. They have a lot of contributors out there, a lot of sports content you can watch. They also have a lot of interviews you can do. You want to try to interview some athletes, they can help you out with that, man. So please check them out as well. And while you're doing all that, please give us a like and subscribe as well. Hit the bell. It'll let you know whenever we're going live, anything we have going on. So we truly thank you for that. Mr. G Mike, I want to go ahead and remind everybody again about Assist. We have a new venture we're trying to get into in the next 2 weeks or so, something like that. I think September 4th is when we're all going to start this. We are going to be going live during your Monday night and Thursday night football games. If it goes pretty well, we might try to venture out a little bit more. But point being is that we're looking for a lot of views out there. It's definitely a different way to watch the games. Great thing is that you're able to sync it up so that we're not spoiling anything for you. You can watch it live with us, and you don't have to listen to your standard Joe Buck or your Troy Aikman or any of the guys that are doing in the commentary. Try something a little bit different. Come out, have a little bit of fun with us. You'll probably be hanging out with us if you're going to be watching the games anyways. So at least get to hear us, and we get a little bit of money out of it as well. So let's not forget about that part. Yeah, I don't know about you, Mr. G Mike, but I'm excited about this new venture we're getting into with Assist, man.
Yes, sir. We're gonna be watching live games, but streaming while watching the games, drink some beers, talk some smack, and we're gonna try and color commentate with some drinks in our system. I think it's pretty exciting right there. Pretty different than what you hear on just normal ESPN, CBS, and stuff like that. You might hear some crazy stuff, man. Who knows? Come in, tune in, baby, tune in.
Tune in, and also, just like we've always been preaching on here as well, if you want to be interactive with us, you can be interactive with us. It's going to be just a different experience than what everybody's used to about watching your regular football games. So, speaking of football, I don't know about you, big man, but I'm ready to get into some news.
Yes, sir.
News from the world of sports.
All right, well, my Indianapolis Colts made a major decision on the future of the franchise, and they are going with Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones is going to be the QB1 as according to Shane Steichen for the rest of the season. G Mike, this is big news coming out of Indy, man. What's your thoughts on this one, bro?
Dude, I want to hear what you got to say first, man. This is your team. This hit you right in the gut, right in the jugular. I want to hear what you think about Danny Dimes taking over AR.
So, it's tough to say, honestly, because, I understand why Indianapolis is making this move. Daniel Jones, I think, even though a lot of people say that Daniel Jones is not that good, I think he puts them in at least a little bit better situation to win games now. And if you look at the new regimen since Jim Irsay has passed away, his daughters have taken over, and they're looking to make some major moves. They've already made it clear that they're going to try and be a little bit different than their father was. Whether that's more patient, I'm not really sure exactly what that actually means, but they've already made it clear that they're not going to be sitting back just letting things go. So I think for the franchise, Daniel Jones gives the best chance to win more games. I think Anthony Richardson is an amazing athlete. He's just not great at playing football right now. And I know you could also go back to why they waste the 4th pick on him. Why did they not give enough time? Partially of some of that is on Anthony Richardson as well, because he's been hurt. Let's face it. I mean, he's been hurt. I think he's missed 19 games since he's been in the league, and he's only been in the league for 3 seasons. Do the math. I do think that Anthony Richardson does still have a chance to possibly even play for the Colts later on the season. Daniel Jones, let's face it as well, has always been a relatively accident-prone quarterback as well to get himself hurt. So there's a strong possibility that Anthony Richardson could make another return. I just think that he needs more time. I don't know if it's time for him to leave Indianapolis now, because that's what the agent is alluding to. That we have a lot of discussions to be had to find out if he wants to stick around. There's no trust anymore. I kind of feel like it's a business, man. Like, they're looking to win games. They're not looking to hold hands. They've given him 3 seasons. He was supposed to, in the offseason, go to work with, Josh Allen's guy. Josh Allen completely improved after he started working with him. Not so much with Anthony Richardson. I don't think either one of them looked fantastic in the preseason, but I do think that Daniel Jones just gives a little bit more stability at the position. Big plays, obviously, Anthony Richardson. Stability, Daniel Jones.
I just feel like the head coach is in the hot seat, right? And he's been in the hot seat for the last few seasons now. And then when you come into the 2025 season, where you're in a division where it's literally up for grabs right now, and especially with the coach that they have a pretty good roster. They have a good foundation when it comes to defense, offense, special teams. And the only thing that's kind of iffy is the quarterback position, right? And when you go to the training camp, preseason, you want to go with your best available out there and the best God-given talent, right? With Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, it's not really that much of a difference, really. They're kind of the same type of quarterback. AR, I would say, is probably stronger, has a better arm when it comes to deep passes. Daniel Jones, he has more experience. He has a lot of playing time when it comes to the NFL. He makes some good plays. He makes some bad plays. But I don't think that there's one QB that is winning this race over the other by a long haul. I think it's right there, and they're neck and neck when it comes to who's going to be the starter, right? So the head coach had to make a decision, and he's like, yo, if I don't start winning now, they might want to end up firing me during the season if we're not doing good, or after the season if we don't make the playoffs. So I got to go with the best decision that I can make at the quarterback position. Who's going to lead us, who's going to get us wins, who's going to take us down the road and try to get into the playoffs or even the wild card. And at this point, he believes that Danny Dimes is a better quarterback fit for the starting position for the Indianapolis Colts over Anthony Richardson. Just right now. That's what he believes, and he's got to go with that decision because I truly believe he's in the hot seat. If he does not win several games, if he doesn't even get into the wild card or into the playoffs, his job might be in jeopardy.
No, I completely agree with you on that. And part of the reason why Shane Steichen came in was that they were supposed to be able to use him. They were hoping that Anthony Richardson was going to basically turn into a mix of Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. Maybe even a little Josh Allen in there or something. It's what they hoped for. He had the big arm. He's athletic. He's strong. He's fast. But he's none of those guys. Even Jalen Hurts. Take, for example, Jalen Hurts. People have issue with the Jalen Hurts and stuff, but Jalen Hurts in the big games always plays his best games. He also doesn't throw interceptions really. He does what you're supposed to do as a quarterback. He's never rushed or anything like that. Anthony Richardson still is trying to figure out whether he needs to go with him with his shoulder, if he needs to slide, if he needs to throw it 70 yards, if he needs to just call it and throw it out of bounds and get rid of the ball. I think that Anthony Richardson is, like I was saying before, has all the athletic talent in the world, everything you'd want in a franchise quarterback. He's just not ready, and the way it looks, I really don't know if he's ever going to be ready. But I also don't want to be Chris Ballard we've had the conversation before. I don't want to be Chris Ballard and be the GM that traded Anthony Richardson, and then he figures it out, and then he's dominating the league because he has all the physical skills to be able to do it. So I understand trying to maybe keep him around, but I don't even know what the trade market would be for this point. I mean, would you trade for Anthony Richardson if you were on another team?
Yeah, if I was the Saints, if I was the Steelers, if I was let's see, the top of the head, just those two teams. But there's other teams around the league that do need a solid quarterback right now. I won't say a lot. I would say maybe a handful. But I'm in the same road as you. I think that they should just keep him. He's young talent. He's like probably 23 years old, 24 years old. Bro, he has a freaking cannon for an arm. He's tough. You know he could take hits. Obviously, yes, he's been injury prone in the last few seasons, but you know it just happens. You learn and you learn how to protect yourself. You know you guys didn't really have that much of a great offensive line. This year is probably a different case. Now with Tyler Warren coming in, he's an extra offensive lineman out there that can actually catch the pass or run the ball as well. But I don't think that they should give up on Anthony Richardson. I think right now, going with Daniel Jones is their best move in their eyes. Because honestly, I think I would just keep Anthony Richardson in there and try to give him, that motivation to try to be better. But they're gonna go with Danny Jones. I get it. The head coach is in the hot seat, but Anthony Richardson's just got to sit back, man, and just watch and learn. I don't think he should listen to his agent and be like, "Yo, let's get up out of here and let's go to another team," because that's just gonna show that when it gets tough and you're in the nitty gritty, you just want to quit.
He's also saying that to check himself out of the game.
And it's like, bro, that's life. That's life. Sometimes it's not gonna go your way, and you know what you got to do? You got to put your head down and you got to keep working, man. That's what you got to do. And I feel like that's what he should do in this situation and not ask for a trade.
I will give him credit, though. He has handled it like a pro, even though he is only 23 years old. He has handled it very well. He's been asked numerous times in the last couple of days, what's your thoughts on this? And he has been completely, good for Daniel Jones. I got nothing but support for him. They made the decision. They felt that was the right thing to win. I'm going to support him. And even all the coaches have all said, too, is that the two of them have, even though they both knew this was a competition, both of them have tried to support each other very well. They've been like high-fiving and stuff like that. So he's being a good teammate, and which is exactly what you need him to do, and not trying to force his way out. I think that it's more of the agent trying to say, let's get out of here. But I think you're completely right. I think if he honestly just keeps his nose down, grinds, there probably will be a chance. I mean, Daniel Jones isn't going to change the world of the quarterback position here. There's a good chance that he could be in as far as the first game. I mean, anything can happen here. So, I think that he's in a good spot. And hell, Indianapolis is in an interesting spot because he's still on a rookie deal. So, regardless, they don't have to pay him all, QB1 money yet. If maybe he sits out the season and then he comes back the following season. Danny Dimes is only on a 1-year deal anyways. So they have options what they can do. It's just a very interesting situation that you draft the guy number 4. You hope that he can pan out, even though they knew it was a project, and it just really hasn't panned out the way anybody really hoped it was. I think they thought he was going to learn a lot faster than he has, and unfortunately for him, it's just come down to reps. I mean, I want to say I heard the other day, I think he's still only at 28 games, including high school. That's crazy. You're not going to be able to make it in the NFL. And he has – the other thing with the whole Danny Dimes thing as well is that Anthony Richardson has some of the worst statistical passing stats in the league. He's like bottom in like almost every single statistical thing in the league. So, I mean, I can understand why they would be like, hey, we're trying to win here. We're not trying to hold hands, So I totally agree with the aspect of that the coach is on the hot seat, I think, as well. Coach and GM is both on the hot seat, I think, in which I do like Shane Steichens. I think that it's just been a bad situation. They've had to have Joe Flacco. They've had to have Gardner Minshew. Hell, I can't remember anybody else. There's been multiple quarterbacks in the last couple of years, and none of them are worth like changing the game for or something. So it's definitely a TBD. We'll be talking more about the Colts next on Saturday's show. I was going to be breaking down the AFC South and the NFC South. So we'll be definitely having more conversation on that. But going from a Colts legend to possibly a new Colts legend, we'll never know. Arch Manning was in the news recently as his grandfather. You like that? How I was trying to put that in fruition.
I like that segue. Right? You've been working on the segues. I like it.
Yeah, put it out there like that. Anyways, man, yeah, Arch Manning.
I'll edit it. I'll make you look good.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Arch Manning has said that it is a possibility, and he doesn't know where his grandfather, Archie Manning, got the information that he is definitely coming back to Texas next year. Archie Manning, was interviewed on, I believe it was by Texas Magazine, and was asked if Arch is sticking around, and he said without a doubt he'll be back the following season. Arch Manning, the son, has smirked in a press conference and said, I have no idea where the hell he got that information from, but I love my grandfather very much, and he's always giving me information. If it was your shoes, your spot, you're in Arch Manning's situation right now, what do, man? You don't know how this is going to go. Texas is coming into the season number 1 in the country for the first time in history, by the way. So that's a big deal for Texas. Texas football is on another level as far as popularity and wanting to be on campus. And he's already making $6 million at least in NIL money. So he has every reason to probably be able to stick around again. What would you do, Mr. G, Mike?
Dude, I will go back. I would go back, man. I mean, dude, life comes at you fast, man. And with these type of situations that you're supposed to be phenom college quarterback and for this year and next year, future NFL quarterback that, have high expectations for this kid. And a lot of that can go by quickly. And next thing you know, you're 40 years old and you're about to retire, man. So I feel like, you should take advantage of every opportunity that's put in front of you. And if you have another opportunity to play at the college level for another season, obviously he still has this season. He's taking it day by day. And he said that, and I truly believe him, that he's just taking it day by day, because you want to appreciate every single day that you have with your teammates, your coaches, the school that you're attending. Every day is a blessed day and a given day, bro. So I feel like he should take the opportunity and focus on the day-to-day, like he said, this season, next season, or wherever he decides to go, the NFL, enter the NFL draft or go back into college, appreciate it. But if it was me, I would definitely come back for senior year, continue to have fun, continue to show my skills, continue to learn, continue to grow as a young adult. And the NFL is going to be there, man. And especially if you work hard and you keep drilling in your head of like, oh, I need to learn this, I need to learn that, I need to get better here, I need to get better there. Eventually, you got the good genes, bro. You got the Manning genes. Eventually, you're going to get into the NFL and you're going to be a first-round pick or maybe even the number 1 pick. So I feel like he shouldn't really rush it. I think he should enjoy himself, enjoy where he's at. And if it was me, for sure, I think I would come back for my senior season.
I think Arch is in an interesting situation because he can honestly sit back and watch how the NFL season goes. He could honestly, ultimately, he's making money. Like we said before, he's, I think, the highest paid NIL athlete in all of college sports right now. So it's not as if he's going to go broke tomorrow or something. I think it's kind of an interesting spot because he can actually sit back, watch, see who's losing, and hey, do I want to go there? I don't know. I don't know if that's what he wants to do. But he could actually do that and sit around for another 2 years, really. And like you were saying, he's probably going to be one of the top overall picks. He's right now the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. So he has everything in his plate in his favor. He has time as well because he can honestly play out this season, see how everything goes with Texas. They're in a great position right now. Like I said before, they're the number 1 team in the country right now. They got a big game against Ohio State the first week, so that's going to change a lot of things. But having said that, man, he's in such a great spot right now and could still possibly walk away being the first overall pick this year or the first overall pick next year and go to a better situation. Let's not forget, Eli and Arch already did something like that. already told you once, we're not going there, and it worked out in their favor and, worked out with Phillip Rivers, and the rest is history. So the Mannings will not mess around whenever it comes to if they don't want to go, they ain't going, so.
I think no matter what, man, he's gonna. I think, bro, he has the IQ, he has the genes from the Manning family, he has the advice and the mentorship from the Manning family, and it's just like, no matter what he does, he's gonna be good, bro. If he stays, if he goes, he's gonna be good, man.
Yeah, we got some Texas love out there saying Archie's going to go back-to-back championships, which is very, very, very possible this year. Texas has a great team, and then go number 1, go first overall. Do the trifecta in that one. I agree. I think that it's very, very possible. Injuries. There's a lot of things that can happen. Obviously, a fresh season, but it's gonna be interesting what's gonna happen with Arch Manning.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. Anyways, man, I'm excited to see what happens for him.
He could end up being the best Manning. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
and
pretty tough to say with Peyton, with Eli. It's pretty tough to say, but
from what they've said, from all the
Can be.
reports, really, in camps and different stuff, is that he's got actually Cooper, the one that actually couldn't really make it in the NFL because of he had a disease or something that prevented him. So, anyways, he has Cooper's speed, Manning's arm, and I think it's one of those. He has like Peyton's brain, Eli's arm, or something along those lines. So he has pretty much the best of all three of the Mannings that were popular. Or that could play football. And unfortunately for Cooper, his dad, he had something happen to him. I can't exactly remember what it was, but him and Peyton were putting up ridiculous numbers in high school. If you ever get a chance to go back, he did more than just that Cooper Manning hour on Fox Sports. He was actually a beast of a wide receiver.
Yeah.
All right, big man. So we're going to go ahead and keep it moving, and we are going to move on to our division breakdowns, man. And we're going to start with the mighty North of the AFC, man. And we have the champions starting it off out there. Of course, I'm talking about the Baltimore Ravens, man. The Baltimore Ravens came in last year at a record of 12-5. They were 150 passing yards a game, which is 25th best in the league. 162.5, which was second in rushing. 27.54, which is 8th, and 14.54, which is 7th in the league in defense. I know, G-Mike, you were really high on the Baltimore Ravens last year. How are you liking their outlook this year?
Still high on them, man. I think I'm going to go again and say I know we still have predictions later on and whatever, but just like last year, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. They obviously did not. This year, I'm picking them again, bro, because they just upgraded their roster even more. They still have Derrick Henry. They still have should have been three-time MVP Lamar Jackson, but obviously it was not. But, bro, they have a great offense. They brought in Jair Alexander out of Green Bay, the corner over there. They brought him in. They got D-Hop. Another receiver there that can do work for them. They got, obviously, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers still there, and Rashad Bateman. But, dude, I think that they have the most clear-cut path for any team to make it to the Super Bowl. Because
thanks for checking in there, Rob. How you doing, man? It's a long time no talk to, man. Good to see you, Caperton.
Because if you look at the Super Bowl champs, the Eagles, right? They lost some players. They lost a coach. They took some steps back. When it comes to the Ravens, obviously they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. They lost in the playoffs, but they took a lot of steps forward. And with that team, bro, they can run the ball, they can pass, they can play defense with the best of them. I think they can be top 5 in each category this season, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this one for once. I was solid against the Ravens last year. Not even really against them. I thought Cincinnati was going to get off to a better start, and Cincinnati towards the end kind of put it on. But they've been too slow to start. So, and this year, I think you're completely right. The Jair Alexander, that is such a Baltimore. That's such a Baltimore move to be able to get him. He fits in perfectly. Getting Derrick Henry back for another year. And I don't know if you watched that preseason game, man, but the backup running back, what is it, Mitchell? Or he was looking ridiculously fast. I know it's preseason, but damn, he had some juice. He was looking good before he got hurt. What's that?
That's their kickoff returner.
Man, that guy's got some juice, man. He's lightning fast, man. He was like electric every time he touched the damn ball. So even if Derrick Henry does happen to go down or just need to take a break for a little bit, they have a great running game to be able to back it up right there. So I'm really excited to watch a lot of Ravens football this year. I think that they have a very, very complete team. I really don't see very many weaknesses. I've been saying it for a while. I wish their wide receiver cores were a little bit better. I do like Zay Flowers. I think he's kind of electric, but I still don't feel like I don't find him as a number one. I think that he's very talented. I think he's like a joystick, a Madden player, if you will, that he can do it all. But I kind of wish they could finally get like I don't know, maybe they had like Anquan Bolden, like something like that, like a true number one kind of guy. But that to me, that if you have a bunch of 1As, it works out. They definitely have a good team, and I have a lot of high hopes for Baltimore, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're going over to the next team in second place over here, man. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a really, really interesting year. They came in the record of 10-7. They were a little bit slow offensively. They actually had 243 passing yards per game, which was tied for seventh in the league. They had 98 rushing yards a game, which is kind of low for the Pittsburgh Steelers style, which was 17th in the league. Points for was 22.5, which is 14th. Points against, which was 21 even. The Pittsburgh Steelers is always all about that defense. They locked up TJ Watt, so he's going to be there for a little while longer. They got to figure out what they're going to do with Cam Hayward. It seems like he's having some issues with them, and he's been a leader for them for a while. He seems like a type of guy that thinks he's super loyal to Pittsburgh, so I think he's going to come back, but they need to figure that out with them. What's your thoughts on Pittsburgh, man? We got Aaron Rodgers coming to town. What's your thoughts?
Before I get my thoughts, let me see what Rob said here. Doing well. I'm back in the Ravens and the Jaguars. Ooh, a boy said I'm back in the Jaguars. Okay. Dude, I like the Steelers, man, especially their defense, man. You know, they're always a defensive-minded team. I don't think that's going to change until Thompson retires. I think it's always going to remain like that. They added Jalen Ramsey. They added Darius Slay. Their secondary is going to be probably top 5 next to the Ravens, honestly, in the league. They still got Patrick Quinn. Like you said, they gave an extension to TJ Watt. Cameron Hayward is still there as well. So their defense is going to be legit, man. It's going to be a tough team to beat, to put points on. Now, when it comes to their offense, they did make some additions to it. DK Metcalf, obviously, he's a big-time wide receiver one, a big wide receiver that can go up there and just snatch the ball out of anybody, any corners or safety's hands. I think the spotlight is going to be on Aaron Rodgers, right? And I think it's going to be better than what it was with the Jets because the Steelers actually have an offensive line. They actually have an offensive line compared to the New York Jets. Not saying that they have the best offensive line or even like the top 10, but they have a better offensive line than the New York Jets. So there's going to be more time for Aaron Rodgers to do what he does. Obviously, he's on the end of his career. He even said it. He's there. He wants to win, and he wants to mentor as well. You got Will Howard as third string right now, but he'll probably be the starter next year after Aaron Rodgers leaves. He'll learn a lot from Aaron Rodgers, and I think, it'll be setting up for the future. But right now, Rodgers is the main man. He got the spotlight on him, and if that O-line can protect, he can get the ball to DK Metcalf. He could get the ball to Robert Woods. He could get the ball to Scotty Miller, Roman Wilson. They got some receivers there too. Not top-notch, but they're pretty good. I would say above the pack out of all the other receivers when it comes to the half part of the NFL league and their receivers and stuff like that. But I think their offense is going to be what they really need to focus on because when it comes to their defense, I think they got to solidify it. When it comes to their offense, they got to get that chemistry going and they got to work out the kinks to try to get some wins.
Yeah, man, I actually like their tight end room as well. Pat Freiermuth is really good, and I think it's a move that they made along with getting Jalen Ramsey was getting Jonnu Smith. And if you remember back when Jonnu Smith played with Atlanta, he was with Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator out there, and he loved him. He was using him so much more than he was using Kyle Pitts, and I know most fantasy players were all pissed off about that. But yeah, I think Pittsburgh is going to be an interesting team. I still think that Mike Tomlin's record of never having a losing season is going to continue. I think that this division is going to be a difficult division. The AFC North is always one of the hardest divisions in football. They play hard-nosed football. Even going down to Cleveland, Cleveland always plays against these teams really well. They may not play against anybody else really well in the league for the most part, but for some reason they play well against the AFC North. I think Pittsburgh has a interesting choice, or an interesting team because, like we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he is in the twilight of his career. This is pretty much the last season. We'll see. I think if he has a pretty good season, I could see him coming back for one more ride just because it's so hard to hang up the cleats whenever you have a decent team around him. I'm really interested to see how the DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers connection goes because with Aaron Rodgers trusts him, he's one of the biggest receivers he's probably ever really had in his career, really, and just the physicalness of DK Metcalf matched with Aaron Rodgers still being able to throw the ball. Even towards the end of the Jets tender that he had there, it just didn't. He was actually playing pretty decent ball. Devontae Adams was coming along. He brought his boy over, Devontae, and they was making some really good connections. Let's see if he's able to come in there and get that connection going with DK Metcalf. Aaron Rodgers did also show up to training camp. Seems like he has a different attitude than he did in the entire time he was with the Jets. It seems like he understands that this is the end, and he respects the hell out of Mike Tomlin. He's made that very clear, so I don't see any kind of Aaron Rodgers trying to be the slight GM and all this other stuff at the same time that was going on in New York. I just don't think New York, that the Jets thing was just a bad taste. It didn't work out for, I don't think, any of them in there, especially after losing him for that whole season. But it's going to be interesting to see what Pittsburgh's able to do. I think that they're going to be, just like they always are, fighting for playoff position. Whether or not they're actually going to make some noise as a deep postseason run, that's a TBD, and we'll see how that goes later on. But yeah, Pittsburgh's going to be definitely an interesting team. The team that came in third place that I really was impressed with, that I wanted to talk about, was the Cincinnati Bengals. Man, Cincinnati came at a record of 9-8, and you would never know that if you watched any of the games towards the end of the season. Man, Cincinnati was playing. I don't think anybody wanted to play them in the playoffs, except that you were playing them on defense. Their defense is historically bad, but that offense is just off the chain, man. They were 237 passing yards, which was 10th in the league, 72 rushing yards, which is 28th in the league, points for 29.0, which is 4th, points against 25.8, which is 28th in the league. Their defense was the story of the team last year, meaning the fact that they would score, they lost, 4 games or 3 games scoring over 35 points. That defense was garbage. And they didn't do anything for him. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were on fire. I just feel bad for them in a way, because how are you going to put up that performances? Joe Burrow was arguably an MVP level candidate, and just the team was so bad with the defense that he couldn't win. You know, what's your thoughts on Cincinnati, buddy?
I don't think they're really going to do much, man. They didn't make any moves when it comes to defense. Yeah, they drafted with their first round pick. They drafted a good defensive end that can hold his own, but now you're trying to trade away the sack leader last season, Trey Hendrickson, and for what? Because you don't want to pay him. Because you don't want to pay him, and it's just like, dude, if you guys really want to win, defense wins championships. If you watch sports, you watch any team sports, you know that for a fact. And you can't depend on just Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. Like, you need defense to help you win. And even on the offensive side, you need offensive line. Like, Joe Burrow just lost one of his offensive linemen today in practice that he's done for the season. And it's like, if you don't have dudes that can protect your star player, how is your star player supposed to do work out there? Like, you just want them to go out there and do some witchcraft and be like, yo, you know what? I'm going to throw it up to Jason Higgins and pray to God they come down with it. It's like, dude, like, you can't keep going on like this. You're going to get these guys hurt. You're going to take L's. You're going to be in the bottom half of the league, and then you're going to be complaining later like, oh, my God, why don't we win? Because you guys don't make damn moves, and you guys don't know how to be GMs out here and make some picks, pay your players. Like, it's frustrating to see. Like, and I'm not even a Bengals fan. Like, I don't really care, honestly. But it's just frustrating to see that you got these star talents on the offensive side of the ball when it comes to Burrow, Brown, Chase, and Higgins, and they can't do anything. We can't see them in the playoffs because you don't want to upgrade your defense and offensive line.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's been in the news on and off for the last, obviously, since training camp started or whatever. We probably are both in agreement here. Cincinnati's messing up by not re-signing Trey Hendrickson, right? Like that. It's coming down. I guess the last report is that it's coming down to guaranteed money, and he wants more of a guarantee. They're agreeing on the amount. They're agreeing on the length, but I guess it's the guaranteed money now. But you have the guy that's led the league in sacks 2 years in a row on a horrible defensive team. That's impressive. And I keep on coming up that he's 30 years old, but 30 ain't old anymore in the NFL. Like, I think that a lot of people are starting to show that, like, you're getting older stuff. I think you front load the contracts then, and then you can get out of it when they get older. I know it's easier to spend everybody else's money when it ain't yours, but I think that the age thing is starting to get to be a kind of silly. What's your thoughts on the age thing? Because Trey Hendrickson is a lot like that. You got Terry McLaurin, the same kind of situation. Because they're at 30 or something. So you pay them up front a lot more money when they're in the prime, and then you can get out of the contract later. Is how I would handle it.
Dude, man, like, there's so much technology when it comes to health and keeping your body right and all this stuff. And when you have millions of dollars to actually do that, to actually get your body right and eat the right stuff, have the right nutrition, put your body to the right rest and all this stuff, like it shouldn't be a question anymore. It should be a statement, as in, like, I'm going to be as good as I can be at any age. Obviously, you get to 35, 40 years old is completely different. You start to slow down. Your body starts to ache more. You're more prone to getting injured. But, dude, 28, 29, 30 years old, that is peak, my guy. That is peak. And you're talking about a guy that led the league twice, back-to-back years in sacks. Like, that is a focal point of football. Like, if you're able to get the other QB sacked, that is amazing. And it's just
he's
like
35 sacks in the last 2 years.
And if we're talking about how Steve just brought it up, that they're talking about they're not agreeing on the guaranteed money, bro. Football is a tough, harsh sport. Of course, these players want guaranteed money. Like, they want to sleep at peace, knowing that, if I give 110%. Every practice, every game, every single second that I'm out there on the football field, that I'm going to be okay, that I'm going to be all right if I get injured when I go home. Damn, man, I messed up my leg. Damn, I messed up my arm. Damn, I got a concussion that I can never come back from. Damn, I messed up my neck. I'm going to be okay with the security money that you're going to give me. I'll be good. I'm going to go 110%. But if you're telling me I'm not going to get the guaranteed money that I want, or you're not going to give me any guaranteed money, why should I put my body on the line for you? Why?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's definitely a harsh sport, and it's definitely something that I think that they're starting to get a lot more smarter about the money, and the money is definitely better than it's ever been compared to, some of the players from the last decade. But even still, I think they're starting to understand that's why these guys are retiring earlier. They're starting to understand that, it's great.
People have died, bro. People have died at 45 years old because they get so many rattles to the brain. Bro, you're a defensive lineman. You know how many times you're clashing with an offensive lineman? Boom, 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 boom. You think that doesn't, like, imagine if every day I told you, you got to pay me $1 every day for gas money. Eventually, you're going to go broke because you're giving me $1 every day. It's the same thing. They're hitting every time. Boom, boom, boom. Those little increments pile up to something big, and it could mess up the brain, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, moving on from the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm going to go ahead and get into the last place team, and no surprise there in the division. It was the Cleveland Browns, man. Cleveland rocks, man. Cleveland came in at a record of 3-14, man. 191 passing yards a game, which is good for 17th in the league. 128.5 rushing yards which is good for 10th in the league. Points for was 26 even, which was 10th. Points against was 11.5, tied for third. Cleveland just keeps on Cleveland, man. They keep on doing their they are always the talk of, like, the offseason, and never for really good reasons, really. Gee, Mike, tell me what the hell's up with the Browns.
Man, there's so much turmoil with the Browns. You got a 40-something-year-old quarterback at the realm right now that he's been transferring from team to team to team like an unfaithful fan. You got the number one wide receiver on this squad, Jerry Jeudy, where he will be on any other team, sad to say, a wide receiver 3, even wide receiver 4. Like, I hope, he does work, because he has great route running skills. He is fast. He has sticky glue hands. He can be the best of the best, right? But he hasn't been given the opportunity with the other teams that he's had. He hasn't really had a true quarterback like that. Now you're giving him a 40-year-old quarterback that hopefully he could get him the ball to. But, their offensive line is average at best. Their defense, obviously, you got one of the best defensive linemen in Myles Garrett in the league. You got one of the best corners in the league with Denzel Ward. But you look at the whole other roster is mid, man. It's very mid. And like what Steve was saying earlier, the AFC North is a division that is really hard to win in, man. And every single win counts. So it's like, bro, it's tough to say that the Browns will do anything. Like even the running game has gone down. Nick Chubb is not there. Yes, he's been injury prone, but you got Jerome Ford, and he does work sometimes, but he's inconsistent. We'll see what Judkins can do. I think he'll be a pretty excited running back. Hopefully, he can do some work.
Still. He hasn't signed yet, though. I mean, the expectation is he's probably going to sign, but there's probably some legal issues coming. Even though the legal issues that he did have kind of been pushed under the rug a little bit, he might still be facing some legal actions with the league. So they don't really know that. He technically hasn't even signed.
Yeah, but man, Browns. I'm sorry to say it, Browns fans, but there's no excitement for you guys. There's no wild card playoffs looking like in your future for this season. And, the best thing you can hope for, I would say, in this would be giving another shot to Shadir Sanders, and he turns out to be the next Michael Vick.
Yeah, they're in a very odd situation right now, Theoretically, what was it, 2 years ago, Joe Flacco actually played pretty well with the Browns. That's when Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku, Cedric Tillman, all these guys actually started showing up. So I think that Joe Flacco can still do it because of what they're going to have to do of throwing the ball as much. Because I don't know about their running game. Jerome Ford's all right, but I do think that Flacco is going to be okay, but just okay. I don't expect him to be great or anything. So we were just talking about a little bit ago. You brought up Shedeur. So now cut down date for the NFL, I believe, is next Tuesday. Don't quote me on that one, but it's coming up at least next week. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it's next Tuesday. Having said that, you have to cut it down to 53-man roster. At that point in time, they have, I believe it's 4 quarterbacks on the roster, including Deshaun Watson, I believe. I don't know if they've still gotten rid of Hundley or not because they signed Hundley as well. You got Pickett, you got Flacco, you got Shedeur, you got Gabriel. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. And then they got 5. So they got, and Watson. What do you do? Do you keep all of them? Do you try and see? Because Pickett came back today and started practicing. So Pickett's missed all of preseason. And today was the first day he was actually able to practice. What do you do? Do you keep all of them? Do you put one of them on IR? What do you do as the GM? Mr. GM, you tell me.
If you like all your other skill players and linemen, and you don't really want to get rid of a lot of them, because they are going to get rid of some, but you don't want to get rid of a lot of them, so you have to choose to get rid of a quarterback or 2. First off the list, it's got to be Kenny Pickett, because the other 2 are rookies. Joe Flacco's going to start, and then Deshaun Watson, you got him on a crazy amount of money. You don't want to let him go. You need to see him play out his damn contract.
He has 1 more year left and on the contract, and they can get out of it.
Yeah. And
so
then
he ain't going anywhere.
Exactly. And then 2, if you need to take out 2, then I would say take out Joe Flacco and run it with the rookies, man. Run it with the rookies, throw them to the wolves and see how they can play. Because at the end of the day, like how we mentioned, AFC North is deep. It's tough. You're not going to win the division for sure. Yeah, I would put $1,000 on it. You guys do not win the division. For you guys to get into the wild card, I'll drop it down to $500 that you guys will not make it to a wild card round. So in that case, just try to make money. Honestly, try to look at it as a business. Push Shedeur at the round, baby. Put him in the first string. His jersey is going to sell. He's going to bring in money. People are going to want to see him play. Opposing teams are going to want to see him play. So, just go with that, man. But if you got to get rid of 1, Kenny Pickett. If you got to get rid of 2, Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco.
That's an interesting take, because I kind of feel like I agree with you on some of it. I think that that Kenny Pickett would be the one that you would most likely get rid of because you have the 2 rookies. And obviously it's the NFL. Everybody's always looking for backups. We mentioned a couple of quarterback needy teams, the Saints, forgive me, we just talked about it a couple minutes ago. The Saints is the one that keeps on coming up in my head. It's one that's definitely QB needy. So you might be able to work a deal maybe to get Kenny Pickett over there. Kenny Pickett's still pretty young. He showed flashes, just never really panned out with the Steelers. He was great in college, but never really panned out with the Steelers. I'm not so sure that you throw in Shedeur so fast. He did look great in the preseason game. He is already injured now, so you don't want to rush him back if you do honestly believe that he is the future of what is to come. I think that you kind of ease him in. Maybe if you're getting a blown out game, maybe throw him in there. But get him in, work him in. But Dylan Gabriel is also a pretty decent quarterback as well. UCF, and he played for Oregon as well. I mean, he's not a bad quarterback, so it's going to be hard. And as the depth chart goes right now, I do believe that Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel is ahead of Shedeur Sanders in the pecking order. So I don't know. And you can also look at the aspect that if you're going to maybe get rid of one, maybe that's what you do, pull the trigger on Shedeur and try and get something back. I would think you would probably get more compensation back for Shedeur, just like we were saying, the jersey sales, the name value, the namesake, the hype. You can probably, if you're going to cut it down there, keep Dylan Gabriel. You're going to keep Flacco because he's the adult in the room. And then you got Dylan Gabriel that you can build because that was their third-round pick, and they had the opportunity to take Shedeur Sanders. They didn't. They took Dylan Gabriel over him. And and then you could keep them three if you wanted to. Maybe you work a package deal and get rid of Pickett and Shedeur. But I am excited to see Shedeur play, though, so I don't want it to make it come off as like I don't think Shadeur's going to be good, because he did look very impressive. He looked a lot better than I thought he was going to look in that preseason game. But you do have a lot of quarterbacks on the roster at the moment, so I do kind of feel like that he would be more of your ace in the hole if you were to make a trade. You might be able to make a splashier move and get something back in return for Shedeur more than you would be Dylan Gabriel or Kenny Pickett. But
I agree with that part. Sure.
It's definitely TBD at this point to find out what they are actually going to do. But it is the Bears, not the Bears. I'm sorry. It is the Browns. They'll find some way to brown this thing up. So that's going to make it. Yeah, that's going to do it for the AFC North. We're going to go ahead and bounce over to the NFC North. Excuse me, it's easier said than done, I guess. And the division winners. The division winner, the Detroit Lions. Man, Detroit was such an exciting team. Man, they came in the record at 12-2. They were 140 passing yards per game, which is 29th in the league. They were rushing yards was 99, tied for 15th in the league. Points for was 13.7. Points against was 22.7. Man, Detroit, it's been such an awesome ride watching them blossom into a team that everybody likes to watch now. They're very household name again. People are excited to watch them. They did lose Ben Johnson to in-division rival Chicago Bears, and they also lost Aaron Glenn to the New York Jets for his head coaching position. Where do you think the Lions are going to go, and do you think these coordinators are just coordinators and able to pick it up, or is this actually going to change the way Detroit looks?
That is a good question, man, because I do not know, but I am interested to see how it plays out. I can tell you right now, I'm guaranteed that they will not have the same record. I think they'll lose one or two more games. But it's going to be crazy to see, man. You're getting two new coordinators for the defense and the offense, and that if you really dissect football, you do know that those make huge differences. When it comes to play calling, when it comes to what players to use for what formations and stuff like that, like, dude, I think it's going to play a big part. I don't know if it's going to go the negative route, or I don't know if it's going to go the way positive route, honestly. But I am interested to see that. When it just comes to the roster, though, man, they didn't really move a lot of pieces around. They have basically the same exact roster that they're going in with. So we saw last year what they can do. So, as of now, as a betting man and just as a prediction, I think they will stay either the same or be a little bit better. But we got to see how that all comes together. Again, new coordinators on both sides, so it's going to be tough to see.
I think for Detroit, it can't be understated how important Ragnow was that he left as well. The center retired, and he was one of the best centers in the league. And so that can't go forgotten about that he's gone now. I do think it's going to be kind of cool to see how Detroit plays now, because from what I've heard, it was the passing game coordinator, if I believe, that was with Detroit like 2 years ago. I think he went out with the Rams, and now he came back to be the OC in Detroit. I think that he's already made it clear that he wants to be a lot more aggressive than they were before and throw the ball down the field more. You got Amon-Ra, who is awesome, and you got Jameson Williams, who is on the brink of being a breakout player, I think, in the league. Finally, this offseason, it's been a lot of negativity going his way for most off seasons, that he needs to grow up a little bit, and he needs to get this and that. He's had some issues off the field, but this year going into camp, it's been all positive and sunshine for him, and I think it's time then that he's coming in. He's coming into his third year. He's healthy. I think Jameson Williams is going to have an an awesome year. I also like the guy that they have too. They Isaac Tesla. I think that he's an interesting pick that they got. He was their 3rd round wide receiver. I think that he's going to be pretty good. He's pretty beefy dude. He's got plenty of room to make it in there. Their wide receiver 3 isn't that big of a position they have right now. I believe it's Josh Reynolds. I believe it is their wide receiver 3. I could be wrong on that one.
Tim Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think that he could take over that spot possibly. And you got Sam Laporta still too. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is going to be an interesting player to watch this year as well. I think that they're going to use him a lot more now. I think the whole 1A, 1B thing, I could see them just kind of using David Montgomery in the red zone because he's more of a bigger power back than Jahmyr Gibbs. But I think this is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs' time to shine this year. I think he's going to be really a focal point of the offense more than he already was. So I'm interested to see how that looks. But you're also comparing it to where Ben Johnson used to run things, and then they already are going to do things a little bit different. So I think Detroit is still going to have a damn good team. I love Dan Campbell. Who doesn't? If you like football, you like Dan Campbell. He's already been kind of getting – if you watch him on the sidelines, though, he's been getting kind of frustrated in the preseason. They've been making some boneheaded plays that he doesn't like and he doesn't tolerate. He's all about discipline. And in the preseason, even in that first Hall of Fame game where that game means 0 to anybody or anything, but he made it very clear after that game that if this is the effort you're going to put out, there'll be a lot of people getting cut. So he still is no nonsense. They haven't let the winning go to their head at all, and I think they're still hungry like a lion. So I think that they're definitely still going to have a damn good team. But this division is pretty good. It's pretty good up and down, really. I think that all the teams out here are playoff worthy teams, honestly. In my opinion, we were both kind of going on to the second place team of the Minnesota Vikings. Do you remember back when it was one of our first few episodes we were doing here, and it just seemed like everything was going wrong for the Minnesota Vikings in the offseason. You had Jordan Addison getting in trouble. You had, I want to say Justin Jefferson might hurt his ankle or something like that. J.J. McCarthy tore his meniscus, and they got Sam Darnold coming in, and boy, we'll be damn wrong, man. Minnesota was one of the best teams in the league last year, and I think Sam Darnold kind of fell apart at the end, but I thought they're really, really going to make some noise in the playoffs going into it last year. What's your thoughts on Minnesota, man? They had a hell of a year. Do you think it's going to change, and do you think J.J. McCarthy is ready to go?
I think it's going to change. Sam Darnold, he had a great season last year. I mean, no one could take that away from him. A lot of people would say that it's a fluke. A lot of people would say that he just needed a different scenery to actually show his skills, which I think both can be true at the same time. But with J.J. McCarthy, we're going to have to see what he can do because they put him at the realm. They wanted to start him last season, and then the whole injury started and whatever. So that Sam Darnold was going to be the second string. But this season, it looks like he's healthy and he's ready to go, and we got to see what he can do because they have a lot of weapons on offense, and they have a good offensive line. They have a good defense like they showed last season. I think they can be the same exact team, but you have a different quarterback at the realm, and that can change everything. So I don't think that they're going to get the same amount of wins. I think they're going to digress a little bit, just like the Lions. But everybody's going to be looking at JJ here and see what he can do because Justin Jefferson obviously can do work. Addison's going to be suspended for what, like 4 games, 5 games? Yeah, something like that. And which is why they're looking for that. It was reported today that they're looking for the trading for another receiver, which makes sense. But yeah, everybody's going to be looking at McCarthy, man. We'll see what he can do because it's going to be all on him for real.
I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be okay in the system, honestly. I think Kevin O'Connell is one of the absolute best coaches in the league, and he seems like that he understands and knows how to coach quarterbacks. He brought the race charge to Sam Darnold. He was with L.A., I believe, whenever they won the Super Bowl that year, I believe. I think that he's just one of the absolute best coaches in the league, and the system that he runs is very quarterback friendly. And I think J.J. McCarthy, I think he's going to be okay because I don't think the moment's going to be too big. I mean, he came from playing in the Big Ten in Michigan. Michigan is insane on a Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, so he's used to playing in big games already. So, and he's played against some of the best competition. rumor had it that he was ready to take the reins last year for sure, but he just tore his meniscus. So, and I think that they were saying that he had a lot of time to just sit and watch. So, and if there's ever a silver lining to it, he got to sit and learn. And him and Sam Darnold had a really good relationship. And you saw what happened with Sam Darnold with Kevin O'Connell. I think the same thing can happen with JJ McCarthy, and I think that he's a little bit more athletic. He's a little bit more mobile. I honestly think that it's going to be a smooth transition, if not be a better transition. I have a lot of faith in JJ McCarthy in the Minnesota Vikings and what he's going to be able to do. I think they're not really going to miss a beat much. It's going to be hard the first 3 games. I think that is going to be a huge uptick for TJ Hawkinson with Jordan Addison being out for the few games or whatever. But I obviously we got Justin Jefferson, who I think is 1, maybe 2 in the league. But I think JJ McCarthy and him already, if you watch the preseason last year, the little bit he got to play, him and they already had a chemistry going, and he's been giving them high praise. So I don't think the moment's gonna be too big for JJ McCarthy. I think they're going to be a pretty good team still. I also really like the running back move that they made in getting Jordan Mason from San Francisco as a either 1A, 1B combo with Aaron Jones. They kept Aaron Jones around, but I feel like that he's just going to turn into like the third down back, and you're going to have Jordan Mason as your primary back, which Jordan Mason is damn good back. I like what he does, and he was a hell of a fill-in last year for Christian McCaffrey. I'm honestly surprised that they let him go. Minnesota saw something they liked and they traded for him. So I'm surprised San Francisco let him go. But I think Minnesota's going to have a great offense, and their defense is right along with it too. So I got a lot of high hopes for Minnesota, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think Jordan Mason will probably get a lot of red zone touches, just like David Montgomery over there.
Yeah, I think I could see that too. He looked great last year. Unfortunately, pretty much just like everybody in San Francisco, he ended up getting hurt, so it kind of derailed the season for a little while. But I think he's a damn good player.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. We got 2 more teams, man. We got the Green Bay Packers, man. And the Green Bay Packers, that was my Super Bowl pick for last year to win the whole thing, and it did not end up happening. Unfortunately, they started off the season a little bit slow with Jordan Love getting hurt in that Sao Paulo game. I hope that they're able to get off to a better start. What's your thoughts on Green Bay? They end up getting for the first time signing a wide receiver in the first round of the draft for the first time. I want to say 15 years or something like that, something insane. What's your thoughts on Green Bay?
Dude, they're very injured right now, man, and especially in the wide receiver room. There's 4 injured wide receivers, and one of them is Christian Watson, which is their wide receiver 1. That he looks like he's probably not going to play first week. We got to still see on that, but. If they're healthy, I like the Packers, man. I like the Packers a lot. They can bring a lot of arsenal when it comes to their offense. They could put up a lot of points. Their defense got a little bit better as well. But if their wide receivers are not good, man, dude, he's gonna be throwing to Romeo Doubs, wide receiver 3, and Matthew Gooden, which that's the rookie, right? That's the rookie that they drafted.
Golden, yeah.
Yeah, Golden. I'm sorry. And it's like, dude, you're going to have to put a lot of pressure on Josh Jacobs. He's going to have to touch the ball at least 20 to 25 touches a game. And you don't really want to do that, wear down your running back like that. So if they get the receivers back and they're healthy, they can do work. If they don't, if they start off the season slow with how deep that this division is, it could derail them down the line.
Yeah, I like Jordan Love. I think that he has his moments whenever he's healthy. He looks pretty good, actually. I think they made a pretty good transition over. I think he was just kind of hurt last year and showed glimmers of that he can play pretty well. He had go back to that playoff game. I mean, I know you remember that one pretty well, where Jordan Love did work, but didn't want to bring that one up. But, hey, at least you guys made the playoffs. I haven't seen the playoffs in like 5 years as a Colts fan, so I can't really say much. But having said that, anyways, back to the Packers here, man. I think Josh Jacobs is still awesome. I think I love the way they finally were able to figure out how to use him. And if you remember last season, they started off not really using him as much as everybody thought they were, and it was kind of slow. And then once they figured out, okay, hey, we got what we got here, it was lights out after that point. It was great what they were able to do with him. So I really do feel bad for Christian Watson, it's Christian Watson, because the guy just constantly is hurt. He shows flashes to man like, damn, this guy is so good, and then he just cannot stay healthy. His body just like hates him, I guess, man. I feel bad for him because he can be a great wide receiver, just he can't ever stay healthy on the field. So I think that's going to be I think I agree with you on that one. I do like both tight ends they have, when Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. I like both of those guys. I was really high on Luke Musgrave when he came out. He kind of got hurt as well. But I like both of those two. And I think the defense is very good, actually. They had a good defense last year, and I think that it's going to continue on this year. So it's going to be interesting to see. It all really comes down to, I think, you don't want to always put it on the quarterback's shoulders, but I really think it's going to come down to Jordan Love because, like you were saying, the wide receiver room is a little bit injured, so it's really going to kind of show, hey, is he a true number injured. One? Yeah, is he a true number one quarterback, or is it just he had a few good games? And I think this season is really going to prove it for him. And I think he wants to prove it as well, that I deserve that big contract that I got, that I am in Green Bay. I am the man here. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see what the Packers do. I do think they're going to have a lot of fun games, though, to watch. I love this division. I think it's going to be interesting from top to bottom. Speaking of the bottom, we have one more team to talk about, and that is the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears was a wild ride last year, man. You had Caleb Williams coming in. He was supposed to be the first 4,000-yard passer for the Bears. It just did not pan out that well at all. Their passing was not very good. He was the most sacked quarterback in the league. He took a bunch of sacks on his own. But then he would show flashes. They went on that 4 or 5 game winning streak of like, wow, okay, hey, this guy's got it. And then the wheels fell off hard. And when they fell off bad. Chicago, man, you think they got much improved? I like a lot of things Chicago did this season. This offseason.
They drafted well. They brought in Ben Johnson to be the head coach. He could change the offense completely. We've seen it happen with the Detroit Lions. So I think they're on the uprise, bro. They're on the positive path, and they're gonna get better. Now, do I think that they're gonna change a whole lot in one season? No, I think it's gotta be like in 2 years, 3 years. But they're on the right path of success, and they just gotta go through the obstacles and the turmoil when it comes throughout a whole regular season. New head coach, sophomore year, Caleb Williams, a sophomore slump can be a real thing. DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, and Roma Doomsday, they can be good players, and Cole Kmet as well. They can be great players for Caleb Williams, but we got to see how the offensive line holds up on their own. Their defense is pretty decent. It's not great. It's not horrible. They're in the middle of the pack of the league. So, you could still win games with this kind of defense, but we just got to see how it's going to plan out with the offense, because if Caleb Williams plays somewhat what he did last season, they're not going to really go much. If he plays the way that, everybody believes that he can play, a number one pick for a reason, he's a smart guy. He runs out of pressure and stuff like that. If he can get the ball to his receivers and make some great decisions, they can go very far. But we just got to see how it pans out with a new head coach, with a number one pick at the QB, and then put it all together with the offensive line and the offense.
Yeah, so they end up making kind of an interesting choice at their first round pick. They pick Colston Loveland at the tight end position. Whenever Tyler Warren was out there, if they're looking for a tight end, who I'm very, very excited about for the Colts. I think Tyler Warren's going to be awesome. But they also have a bunch of running backs out there. Do you think DeAndre Swift can be a true number one? They also I know they have Roshan Johnson in the backfield as well. But do you think that they made the right decision by going that whenever they had all the – they had Hamilton or Hampton out there, Armani and Hampton out there. They had Judkins. They had a whole bunch of good wide running backs out there. Do you think that they should have maybe went that direction, or do you like the Colston Loveland pick?
I like the Loveland pick because Ben Johnson, he likes offensive line that can block, and he likes tight ends that can block and go out for passes. You see with Sam Laporta, you saw with the offensive line for the Detroit Lions last season and the years before that. He likes a player that can actually hold their own when it comes to blocking defensive linemen or linebackers, and Loveland can do that. He can go out for a play action pass, which Caleb Williams is obviously good at. He can be great at it as well. He can dodge the best of the best. So if you got Loveland out there being covered by a short linebacker or a small corner or even sometimes a strong safety, he could win those battles 8 out of 10 times. So throwing the ball to him will be a smart decision, and getting him to block on sides of the ball, while DeAndre Swift is trying to run, I think it is a great pick for them for sure.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be an interesting division. Eventually, interesting team to watch, really, to see how Caleb Williams picks up on Ben Johnson's offense. I think it's really going to come down to us. I think that if he's able to pick it up, I think Chicago can go far. If he's not able to pick it up, it's going to be a disaster because Ben Johnson, if you watch him on the sideline, he's like not as hardcore as Dan Campbell, but he definitely is a no BS coach that's not going to tolerate boneheaded decisions. And they just re-signed Tyler Bagent today as well, or I think it's Bagent.
Tyson Bagent.
Yeah, Tyson. Sorry, it's not Tyson. They said they re-signed him today too. So good for him. That was a really emotional video. If you ever seen it, like he was crying, he was like really upset. He was really happy to be re-signed. I thought I heard something today on the radio saying that it's the first Bears quarterback to be re-signed since 2014, I believe it was. So it's been a long time. That
is an achievement right there, and he got $10 million.
Yeah. So that's going to end the division breakdown for the AFC and NFC North. We have 2 more to go, and which we'll be going over on Saturday, which we'll be talking about is the NFC South and the AFC South, and we'll be done with our division wrap-up. Following week, we'll probably be getting into our actual division picks. So we have a lot more to come with the divisions, and football, like we were saying, is right around the corner. So get ready for that. I don't know about you, big guy, but I am ready to debate, and it is time for our Downbad Debate of the night.
It's time for the Downbad Debate.
All right. Since fantasy football season is right around the corner, we thought we would go with a little bit of fantasy football style right here. The question is, who would you rather draft? You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, or Brian Thomas Jr.? Mr. G. Mike, man, who would you rather draft out of all 3 of these players?
I'm going Amon-Ra St. Brown, baby. The guy is speedy. He knows how to run routes. He barely drops balls. I can't remember the last time he dropped the ball, honestly, that's going his way. And, dude, he has seniority. He has more experience. Obviously, Malik Neighbors is one of one. And Brian Thomas Jr., he really showed out last season. A lot of people didn't even know about him when he went to the Jaguars. And now a lot of people know about him. He's actually going – round 2 early in the fantasy drafts? Well, Amon-Ra St. Brown, man, he's going round 1, probably pick 7, 8. Malik Neighbors, he going like 9, 10. But in this one too, man, you gotta look at the teams, the offensive line, and the quarterbacks when it comes to fantasy. Jared Goff, better quarterback right now than Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. And Trevor Lawrence, he took a back seat. He took a big back seat when it comes to throwing the ball and actually having success for the Jaguars. So the top quarterback right now out of these 3 receivers would be Jared Goff. So I would go Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I'm actually going to go Brian Thomas Jr. in this one. I think with Liam Cohen's new offense, Trevor Lawrence has been looking awesome in the preseason. Granted, yes, I know it's preseason. You can't jump on the hype train too much on that one, but I like what Brian Thomas is able to do. And like I was saying before in the episode, I think that Jameson Williams is going to have a breakout year. And I also think that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a lot more involved in the passing game. So I'm kind of worried about Amon-Ra a little bit because his dominance all came from the Ben Johnson's offense. I do love Amon-Ra, and Malik Neighbors for me, standout great player. Russell Wilson can still throw the moon ball, but he seems like he's already on a track of just getting hurt too much for me to take him as high as he's going right now. He had a toe injury. He's had a shoulder injury. It's too close to the drafts for me right now. So I'm going to go Brian Thomas Jr. actually in this one because I could get him a little bit later and not have to waste my first pick, most likely on Amon-Ra St. Brown in this situation. So I'm going to go with Brian Thomas Jr. Love me some Amon-Ra St. Brown, though. Would not be upset about having either one. Yeah. All right, man. That was a lot of fun, and I love fantasy football, and I'm going to be dominating because I got my Pharmacy League fantasy football draft on Friday night, so I'll be dominating that one, and it's about time for the trophy.
What pick do you got?
I've been trying to win for the last 4 or 5 years, and it has not worked out for me, so I've managed to come in, I think, 3rd or close to last. So it's either Milwaukee Bobby here, man. It's not first or last. It's anywhere in between right now. But it's coming home with me today. On Friday, man. It's coming home. All right. That is going to conclude it up for our show for tonight, man. It's been a lot of fun. Like we were saying before, we have a lot of new stuff coming up. Assist, that's going to be huge for our show. It's going to be on Mondays and Thursdays during the NFL season. We'll hopefully be able to tune in with us, watch it, check it out, enjoy it, comment, have a lot of fun with us. it's just a different approach to watching football, and it's live. We'll be able to get live reactions and be able to get our socials out there a lot faster to be able to see reactions to touchdowns and big plays. So we're really excited about that. G-Mike, you got anything for the people?
Nah, man, just guys, if you please can subscribe, share the show with your family, friends, strangers, whoever, your fantasy football leagues, whatever you can to share it, to like it, to subscribe. We would really appreciate that. We appreciate all the love and support. If you guys want to come in and talk smack with us while we're live, you can come up in the chat, say whatever you want. Or if you want to just be a part of the show and you actually want to debate and talk about sports, bro, you could just send us an email on one of our socials, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. You can message us and we'll try to get you on the show.
Yeah, even if it's just a question of the day kind of style. If you just want to if you have a question you want to answer and take on and answer, we got you covered on that one. So for a Wednesday night of Views in the Stands, I am Stevie B, and we truly appreciate it. For Mr. G Mike, we are out, and thank you very much for watching the show. Please like and subscribe. Peace.